Hello and welcome to a new video. We live in a world where the unexplained prevails and mysteries challenge our understanding of reality. There are still so many things to discover in our world for which we don't have answers. And that makes reflecting on them very interesting. Today, we're going to explore 9 mysteries that remain unexplained. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and also leave a like before we start the video. Let's start with these impressive tunnels, known as paleoburrows, which can reach an incredible 2,000 feet in length and a height of over 6 feet. But what exactly is a paleoburrow? It is defined as a shelter excavated by an extinct creature from the prehistoric era. It is now believed that the Brazilian tunnels were made by giant ground sloths that inhabited the region. Professor Heinrich Theodor Frank from the University of Rio Grande do Sul meticulously documented over 1,500 of these tunnels. It is believed that a tunnel in southern Brazil contains religious treasures, measuring nearly 6.5 feet in height, nearly 6.5 feet in width, and about 49 feet in length. This tunnel ran beneath a farmer's house. The only indication that they were not ancient chambers were the deep claw marks of non-human beings on the tunnel walls. The main candidates for their creation are the giant ground sloth and the giant armadillo that inhabited the land over 10,000 years ago. These giant ground sloths, some measuring up to 13 feet in length, walked on all fours, although recent research suggests that some individuals may have been capable of bipedal movement. Along with them, nearly 100 species of armadillos roamed the Americas for millions of years, coexisting with the giant armadillos. In the year 1903, the town of Van Meter was haunted by a creature resembling a bat, 8 feet tall. The local sheriff dubbed it the Visitor of Van Meter. It all began on the fateful night of September 29, 1903, when a local hardware salesman spotted an unusual light flickering on the rooftops of Van Meter's commercial establishments. Dr. Alcott then saw a creature, part animal, part bat, with a radiant glow emanating from a single horn on its forehead. In an attempt to defend himself, he fired 5 shots point-blank at the creature. The next day, a man named Peter D. heard a muffled sound followed by a mysterious light entering his window. He frightened it off with his pistol and then made plaster casts of the 3-dimensional footprints it left behind. It was discovered that in 1878, near Van Meter, a deep mine had been excavated to a depth of 78 meters to extract coal and clay. During the year of these strange encounters, employees at the brick and tile factory reported strange noises coming from the mine shaft, as if Satan and his army of demons were preparing for battle. Some reports even claimed to have seen 2 creatures emerging from the depths of the mine before it was reinforced. In October 2018, a mysterious sighting was captured on Lake Superior in Michigan. The video, filmed by a local videographer named Jason Asselin, initially focused on a rainbow but unexpectedly revealed what appeared to be a glowing ghost ship. This occurred near the rocky coast of Presque Isle in Marquette, Michigan. Jason, who was filming a video clip in the area, decided to take a break and enjoy the sunset with his group when they witnessed the strange phenomenon. The spectral ship floated over the turbulent waters for nearly half an hour before disappearing abruptly. Seeing ghost ships is not uncommon in this region, given the presence of over 6,000 sunken ships in the Great Lakes. The area's rich maritime history and the treacherous nature of the Great Lakes have contributed to numerous legends and stories of spectral encounters. The Blemmyes were a tribe of African men who, according to reports, had no heads with their faces on their chests. Believe it or not, in this medieval legend, the Blemmyes were indeed an African people who established a kingdom in northern Nubia between 600 BC and 300 AD. However, since the dawn of their existence, stories circulated about their headless nature. The famous historian Herodotus, who lived between 484 and 425 BC, wrote in his accounts that the headless tribe lived on the eastern border of Libya centuries later, around 45 AD. A Roman geographer named Mela documented that the Blemmyes lived in Africa and had faces on their chests. This account was further supported by Pliny the Elder, who claimed that the tribe had no heads, with their mouths and eyes located on their chests, placing them in Ethiopia or Nubia. The fascination with the Blemmyes continued throughout medieval Europe, as depictions of these beings can be found in manuscripts and on the margins of world maps. An Anglo-Saxon manuscript dating back to around 1025, found in the British Library, also contains an illustration of a Blemmyes. What you see here is nothing less than a complete body of a male hairy man, standing at 6 feet tall, extremely well preserved in ice. When it was discovered in late 1968, the skeleton was known as the Surskoy creature. However, its origin remains unknown. It was found encased in a block of ice off the Siberian coast by a Russian ship or a Japanese whaling ship. The hairy man is described as having a broad chest, a thick neck, and large hands and feet. His face was wide and flat, with a short, upturned nose and thick eyebrows. One of the most striking details was the presence of an eyeball protruding from one of the eye sockets, apparently due to a gunshot wound to the back of the neck. Some notable features included a long, slender thumb and a pad on the heel on the outside of the palm, indicating habitual quadrupedal behavior. The implications of these characteristics have led to intriguing speculations about the nature of the creature. It has been suggested that the hairy man could represent a new species of man-monkey or a living form of Neanderthal. In modern folklore, kobolds are often portrayed in green color. Although this tradition is more recent, kobolds are commonly depicted as beings varying in height, from dwarfs to humans. In popular tradition, kobolds are believed to dwell in caves but are also associated with households, engaging in mischief such as banging pots and moving furniture at night. An intriguing observation arises from a video supposedly capturing a real-life kobold baby. In the video, a woman passes through security checks at a busy bus station with what appears to be a baby in her arms. However, when the baby turns its face towards the camera, its features resemble more of a humanoid, with a grayish color and a dark green hue, raising questions about its true nature. The discussion concludes with contemplation on the possibility of the baby being indeed a kobold, leaving the matter open for reflection. While rare syndromes may explain the baby's unusual characteristics, the possibility of it being a supernatural creature is also intriguing and worth considering. In Victorian society, one name struck fear into the hearts of many. Spring-heeled Jack, often compared to the Batman of the 19th century, terrorized the streets for weeks. Initially dismissed as an exaggerated tale, the existence of this diabolical character gained official recognition in January 1838. The first documented incident occurred when Polly Adams, a barmaid, was brutally attacked while crossing Blackheath in South London. This incident was followed by reports from terrified witnesses, including Mary Stevens, a maid who encountered a terrifying creature on B.S. Common, and another woman who was attacked in Clapham Cemetery. The list of victims grew, with Lucy Scales, the daughter of a butcher, being attacked in Lambeth, while Jane Alsop narrowly escaped from a strange figure in her home. Jane provided a terrifying description of her inhuman attacker to the London magistrates, describing a figure dressed in a tight white outfit resembling a waterproof, with a distinctive helmet. She claimed the creature emitted blue and white flames. Mayor Sir John Cowan was inundated with complaints, citing a demonic creature with red fiery eyes and icy claws. Jack leaped from rooftop to rooftop and narrowly avoided an incident in 1870 when enraged citizens of Lincoln attempted to shoot him. He laughed, jumped over fences and small buildings, and then fled. The iconic image of extraterrestrial beings, like small green men with elongated heads and huge eyes, originated from this story. In the southwest of Kentucky, on August 21, 1955, something happened to the Suttons, a large farming family from Hopkinsville. The incident began when Billy Ray Taylor, a friend of the family, went to fetch water in the backyard and spotted a bright object in the sky. Without warning, the object silently descended towards the house and suddenly dropped to the ground. An hour later, spurred by the persistent barking of their dog, along with the canine, he approached the back door, where they saw a small humanoid creature, about 3 feet tall, with a large head, long arms almost touching the ground, claw-like hands, and eyes emitting a yellowish light. The men grabbed their guns and shot at the creature as it approached with its hands raised, as if surrendering. Then, the creature quickly somersaulted backwards and retreated into the darkness. Shortly after, the men saw a similar creature appear at a side window. Surprised, they called the police, who upon arrival found nothing strange. One of the witnesses reported seeing one of the creatures repeatedly glowing in their bedroom window, with a claw-like hand pressed against the screen. The police were called again, but no one ever managed to explain who or what those people saw at that moment, making the story quite unsettling. In Albania, local residents are intrigued by the possibility of a creature similar to the Loch Ness Monster being present in their waters. There are reports of sightings of the Albanian monster in the Albanian part of the large lake Prespa, which is shared between Albania, Greece, and Macedonia. A video shows an extraordinarily large creature emerging from the water, displaying what appears to be a visible head and neck. The creature is seen moving up and down before disappearing again beneath the surface. While many local residents firmly believe in the stories of a lake monster, others suggest it could simply be a gigantic catfish. A geography expert who crossed the lake for the first time in 1970 shared his perspective, acknowledging that the large lake Prespa has a tendency to generate unusual events not commonly observed in other bodies of water. He described an experience in 1976 when he witnessed an imposing column of water near the Greek border, resembling a mushroom, which remained suspended in the air for 10 to 15 minutes before disappearing. If you've already subscribed to the channel and liked this documentary, click on the video that appears on your screen for more content like this. See you in a bit.